going to play this, and I want you guys and gals to listen to this, and I give you my commentary.
Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with that decision from a judge in Pennsylvania. Bill Cosby, once nicknamed America's Dad, will now face his first criminal trial for alleged sexual assault. Cosby was escorted into the courtroom today, surrounded by cameras, police, and in the crowd, some of his supporters. His defense team arguing, sometimes shouting, that the evidence is not there. ABC's Lindsay Davis was in the courtroom.
Bill Cosby greeted fans, waving, but walking into court today not knowing if the first criminal trial against him would proceed. Guided into the courtroom, where a Pennsylvania district judge then ordered the embattled comedian to stand trial on charges of sexual assault. Andrea Constand, the woman at the heart of the case who alleges Cosby sexually assaulted her at his Pennsylvania home back in 2004, was not present in court today. Instead, portions of her statements to Pennsylvania detectives from 2005 were read in court, alleging Cosby told her to drink wine and take herbal medication before the alleged assault. During the 3.5-hour hearing, at times the defense even shouted and pointed out multiple inconsistencies from the former Temple University employee's statements, saying when Constant was given the chance to review her statements, she had lots of crossouts. On one occasion, she told detectives, "We laid down on the bed together," and later revised it to say just, "We relaxed close to each other." The defense also questioned why she carried on a seemingly friendly relationship with Cosby after the alleged assault, even asking him for tickets to one of his comedy shows and introducing him to her family and bringing him a gift.
There was no evidence of a crime here, and the inconsistencies that plagued this investigation from the beginning continue to plague it now. This case should end immediately.
The defense argued that at no time did Constant ever say no or tell Cosby to stop. The prosecution argues the pills rendered her unable to consent. Everything was blurry and dizzy, she says, and her legs felt like jelly.
It was intoxicating to her, and that she was unable to consent. That's the crime.
And Lindsay Davis joins us live tonight. Lindsay, the defense team saying there a moment ago the case should end immediately. The judge disagreeing today. So what does Cosby ultimately face potentially, and could some of the other women be called to testify?
Yes, David, the prosecution will likely fight very hard to get the testimony from some of those other accusers included in this case, but it likely would only be admissible if they're able to prove that he had a very specific method of operating. If he's found guilty, he faces up to 10 years in prison, David.
Lindsay Davis, who's been covering this case from the start. Thank you.
Well, even those few things that you heard, that I stated from the beginning, I said inconsistency after inconsistency. Now, I want to say this to Hannibal Buress: if Mr. Cosby does any time in jail, loses a large sum of money, or he dies during this or shortly after this, you're going to be looked upon as the villain of the story. I'm going to tell you why. All the comic things that you could talk about, you want to joke about Bill Cosby and alleged rape that may or may not have happened. You started talking about this exactly in 2014. The last incident that happened between Cosby and this woman, 2004. She waited to 2005, if I'm not mistaken, to say something. So it means when she said something 2005, that means they had in a year or 10 years, if I'm mistaken, to press charges. That's why last year they rushed. The prosecutor that was just speaking ran on saying, "I'm going to go after Bill Cosby," even though they had the civil thing and everything. She took money and ran to Canada. Now, there are people saying, "Well, Cosby talked down to the black community." All I'm saying is I keep saying that he did not talk down to the black community. He spoke to those in our community who don't give a fuck. You guys criticize those people just as much as Cosby did, or maybe more so. A lot of us move away from people like that because we're tired of dealing with people who don't give a damn about where they lay their head at, or other people's property, or people's space. We're tired of those people knowing that racism exists, but still go out there and do asshole things, and then they get caught. It's the man doing this to me, but you went out there and indulge in all these questionable behaviors. Bill Cosby was pissed off like a lot of us. I said, wait a minute. We got brothers and sisters in march, sacrifice, catching hell jobs, trying to defend ungrateful people. It happened to me in my job. I go to a location where the black employees are being treated like shit. They're not getting their promotions. They're not getting new uniforms. They're working number weekends, these crazy ass hours, and I go ahead and balance it out for everybody. But it still wasn't enough. But when it came down to cut my throat, they cut my throat. I'm like, wow. Then when I left that area, I get a phone call. Harvey, can you talk to such and such? What's the name? Did this in my hours? I said, I'm not getting involved in that. You guys cut my throat when I was trying to help y'all. You don't. You see, because you've been programmed to think that anytime another black person is either trying to help or he's exhibiting tough love, he's somehow anti-black. The motherfuckers that go on Fox are anti-black. Clarence Thomas is anti-black. Bill Cosby wasn't. If Bill Cosby's anti-black, he would get all his stuff to be appealing to Caucasian people. But black folks, some of our people are so silly to think that, well, that's not really the black experience. Like the other day, Anthony Anderson was on The View. Or what is it, The View? He was on The View and he was on Stephen Colbert. I think either The View or Colbert, when he said the James Evans character is the personification of the black man. No, it isn't. That's one characterization of a black man. It wasn't the characterization. I've yet to see the ultimate characterization of a black man on television. They won't show that black man. They don't want that black man promoted. Y'all, a lot of y'all who grew up in a household where your dad wasn't around or he wasn't vocal, y'all said, Bill Cosby, that wasn't a reality. Well, for me and my friends and family, we knew what it was like to go sit down at the table and talk to our father. We knew when our father made lame jokes of he was doing crazy dances. We recognized that. Hannibal, you grew up in a two-parent household. You grew up on the west side of Chicago just like I did. And you knew how everybody thought about us west siders. But now you went out here and want to be Hollywood famous. You cool. Out of all the things that was going on, and around that time, Stephen Cosby, you didn't make no jokes about Stephen Collins. You went out to Cosby. Why? Because Cosby got some standards or telling young black brothers, hey man, don't let nobody sign your checks. Hey man, don't take no demeaning roles. Eddie Griffin sat there and said that Mr. Cosby came and told me, this is how you do this. This is. When Eddie said they do not want you to leave here clean, black folk came out. Vlad went out there and interviewed Ari Spears' mother. Yeah, black folk, and there was another black guy. Yeah, black folks just gotta stop defending people. We don't defend every black person. It seems like some of you handkerchief heads, you coons wants to defend the most repugnant people in our community. Here it is, there are men and women out here involved in crime. You want to rationalize that? Well, you know it was upbringing. Guess what? I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't want to kill or take nothing from nobody. It was baffling me, like, why would he do a riff on Cosby? What did Cosby do to him? Did he go to Bill Cosby and Bill Cosby hurt his willow feelings? Out of all the jokes, could you go back to something that was years ago? And y'all still, but Bill Cosby was talking about black people. But President Obama dissed black folks on a national level, a world level. Cheryl Underwood said something about black people here. You mean, why you say nothing here? Why didn't you say nothing about the rappers? Why you couldn't make a joke like, yeah, you know, isn't it funny how Snoop Dogg back in the day was gin and juice and about the chronic, but now he's out here Snoop Lion. I mean, you could have made jokes about shit like that, about how brothers and sisters for the last 20-something years in the media, and now they middle of the road, they crossover. How LG Cool J is knocking them out. Now he's on CSI hosting award shows and shit. That misshapen head he got kind of covered with a bebop. Oh, LL Cool J is a coon too. He's a Republican. Remember he did that song about racism and shit? But Cosby's the one y'all want to throw under the bus. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters, but Hannibal, if he's responsible for this shit, he had played it. They gonna say, "Well, I didn't mean for it. I just made a joke." No, Hannibal, come on, man. Let's keep it real. And let's keep it a comic that's barely known, black comic. He wasn't no Chris Rock. He wasn't no Eddie Murphy. He was a barely known comic. Go out and do a comedy set. All of a sudden, that sparks something. Come on, man. Then you get a contract with a major electronic company. Then you turn around and you got a deal with Netflix and NBC, the very places that Cosby said, "We don't have nothing to do with you." Now you got that. I did that dude. What's it? Jared. What was his name? I did the video about the brother that got the show on NBC. They do a Cosby episode, and y'all talk about Cosby is the coon, and then you had somebody who said, "Well, Cosby Republican." Really? So all that money he was donating to black schools, all those opportunities he opened up for black folk, he a Republican all of a sudden? You had the museum, they pressured the damn museum to bring up Cosby. Well, he ain't been proven innocent or guilty, but we're gonna mention that. But do y'all mention the founding fathers owned slaves and killed people? No. What the first thing people say? It was a product of their time. Shit like this pissed me off because our people participate in cutting other people, their own people throat. We the only group of people who don't have no type of loyalty, and we do, we're loyal to the criminal among us or the lazy among us. If any Hannibal, you're gonna be in the black community or certain, you're gonna be the villain of the story, and rightfully so. I'm sitting here watching, and I remember Damon Wayans made a comment. You had them coons at the Breakfast Club. Yeah, you shouldn't make jokes like that. But motherfuckers talk about our women. Esther Rowe, the woman was up in age when she died, and she was older than John Amos and them when they did Good Times. Howard Stern was talk about her. People make fun of her, call her ugly. How do you think her children or family members feel? So they can make fun of our women. They look at Adrian Brody, how he kissed Halle Berry in front of her then husband Eric Benet. No respect for our women. When that woman called to Dr. Laura and said her husband and his family friends call her a nigga bitch, what did Dr. Laura flip it on black men? You had our current president sit here and lecture black folk in front or tell black folk that we gotta understand white folk. Really? But you didn't make no jokes about those things. You didn't sit there and say, I'm gonna stick to politics. The same Negroes that's criticizing Cosby, what's that, Wilmore? He go, Barry, you my nigga. Or my nigga, or something. And yet, he like, well, I was doing this a tongue in cheek. Nah, you was trying to be too cute. You was trying to be clever. Kenan Thompson, he would still be looked upon as the kid, the dude from the Nickelodeon. You like orange soda? Remember all that shit, Kenan and Kel? He goes on Self-Mind. Yeah, Bill Cosby said this about how you get pussy and shit. How all men talk to other men. But this is the same dude that said, oh, the black woman ain't funny. Remember that, folks? See, I remember this shit. And I know you're the only one that remember. But I'm going to tell you something. Hannibal in these discussions, he's been getting off scot-free as of late. Because at first, I said, maybe he had nothing to do with it. But then I started seeing him pop up in things. I'm like, you're a good little pet nigga, huh? You chocolate bliss motherfucker, you. And anybody get the chocolate bliss, it's a Hershey product that was sold back in the day. So you know that I think they don't make them anymore. Motherfucker got dipped in grease and shit. You typical dark skinned coon, you. Bill Cosby talked about black folk. That wasn't funny. Bill Cosby worried about himself. You mean to tell me you don't sit at home watch news and say, God damn it, why? I hope it's not a black person that did that. Why you criticizing Cosby for criticizing some of our community who exhibit very poor and dangerous behavior? So you mad at him? Now, yeah, we can be critical and say, yo, he probably got too comfortable talking in mixed company. I remember saying that back way before this shit hit the fan. But I would have never participated in throwing a man, especially a black man, considering the history that people have accusing us as being sexual predators. And then I found out today that Cosby had a female judge. That's why they went ahead with this. You roasting Justin Bieber. I mean, really, man, Justin Bieber was saying he wanted to kill black folk, but y'all roasting Justin Bieber. Cosby never said he wanted to kill his own people. Who's more of a coon or a sellout? You or Cosby? They rewarded your ass for throwing another black man on the bus. A man who actually made it possible for your ass to be where you at. Oh, you think that you got it because of hard work? Somebody had to kick open the doors for you. Y'all swept it down. It was Richard Pryor. No, it wasn't. It was Dick Gregory and Bill Cosby. And Flip Wilson and cats like that. But Cosby kicked it up and said, nope, we gotta have standards. But y'all mad. It's Negroes that grow without standards. He talking about how we act. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be around a bunch of motherfuckers that are lazy or savage acting. All you do is make it harder for us. We already fighting multiple battles. But you help them do this. They disrespect the man's wife. They bringing up his dead son. They do all kinds of shit they would have done. Stephen Collins admitted, yeah, I touch little girls. I expose myself. What was that outcry? I don't think we're going to learn. Tell you, brothers and sisters, excuse me, some of these celebrities, like Hannibal and them, they're the reason why we stuck in the position we are. They get out in public and they throw us under the bus. If Mr. Cosby don't make it through this or found guilty, you will be held responsible. And just because if they find him guilty doesn't mean he did it. Because I mean, with no evidence, it's he say versus she say. Well, the number of women, of course, y'all gave him an open forum. Anybody come out and say anything now?